when we talk about land, we were talking last week to say that it can happen between siblings,
Yes,
between
family.
siblings within a family. It can happen from one family to the other,
Sure.
between two families. It can happen between two corporate bodies. It can happen within villages, between two villages. Between states, between countries, the Ukraine and Russia dispute that we are having right now. Fundamentally, I hope you know that it's about control of territories. Yeah, so fundamentally, the land dispute is huge, or huge, as they say. No, huge. Land dispute is huge.
But I feel if we take it to maybe the Ukraine, Russia, there's always a landmark, there's a border. And everybody should know that since this is the border,
if a few things causes problem. If you've been where people, so land ownership is usually hereditary.
Sure.
And so the way that you claim ownership is by having access to story, to history. You understand?
That's why Baba one day said
exactly, history. So the issue of Ukraine and Russia now, for example, you know that it was USSR. All of those countries were there. Do you know that a particular segment of Ukraine are Russian speaking? So the claim is that really it is Russian land. You understand?
Yeah.
If they go by history and all of that, part of the claim is that it's Russian land. And one of the reasons why this is happening is that they felt that Ukraine is systematically reducing the population of Russian-speaking people in Ukraine. You understand? That's one of it. So and then Ukraine wants to join NATO and all of this. So they don't want it to be that independent. So it's all about control of territory. So and that happens between countries. We are seeing it between Ukraine and Russia now. Which other country of the world have we? Ireland and
Peninsula, Nigeria, Cameroon,
Bakassi Peninsula, so that's it. Ireland and United Kingdom.
That's Dublin.
That's also something like territory. So a lot of countries have gone to war. Have known to have gone to war. And if we go now to the history of our fathers, the Oyo empires of this world, the Mansa, Kankamusa, and all of those things, they are majorly warriors about getting more and more land. So land dispute has always been there, has always been there. But let's now come to maybe just the individual commercial transaction land disputes.
Okay.
Let's say I want to buy land. How do I identify that there is probably a problem on this land that I want to buy?
Is it possible to identify, to know?
You can suspect by certain things. So those are some of the things that we are going to just share. How do you say that, okay, probably there is a challenge on this land? One, if when you are negotiating a land, right, someone did not tell you about certain things, then when you now go for inspection, you are now seeing what you were not told existed on the land. As little as you saw building material, say they drop sand, they drop granite, so they have blocks that on that land. Those things don't grow. Somebody must have bought, and somebody wants to sell his land. Who bought those things there will probably have told you before getting there that this is why I want to sell. I wanted to build before, blah blah blah. I will have told you stories. So if you get on a site and you are discovering that some materials are there, or you see that some fence has been broken, you understand, or some building have been broken, all of those things.
Ask questions.
Yes, it's a pointer to the fact that look, there is
something going on here.
There is likelihood of a dispute on this land.
If you will.
Otherwise, they should give you answers. And if they didn't tell you beforehand, it also makes it even more suspicious. You know, if they didn't tell you until you now went on site to discover it yourself, it makes it more suspicious. So that is for commercial. When you get on land and you see that things that you were not told are there, you know, it should put you on alert. Another one is that if somebody is ordering you, pay. Or is even now saying in this day and age, he's saying pay cash.
What's the difference between pay cash and do transfer?
So the difference between pay cash is that once you pay cash to somebody, it doesn't have trace. It doesn't have trace. Except you took picture, you signed something, you took a video and all of those
which
things.
They are not always patient enough to do.
You know, when you pay cash to someone, all you can trace is that you took cash from wherever, your account.
Amount of visit.
The cash has no trail. You know, except you took video, wrote it down, the person signed,
or maybe with the evidence.
Give you a receipt, even where evidence is your word against.
Yes.
You know,
against mine.
It's your word against mine. So it's usually if somebody is now ordering you pay cash in this day and age, pay cash, and as soon as you pay cash, you know. So you should learn to do your land transactions with making payments in a way that you have a trail. You know, making payments in a way that you have a trail. So you do transfer or you do check or you do those things, because those ones you have evidences of the fact.
So the people right time there. Let's take Precious.
Yeah.
Precious, good morning.
Precious from Abuja.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ma.
Oh, God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ma. Any experience on top this land dispute?
Yes, Precious from Abuja.
Okay, go ahead, Ma.
Okay, you are people are talking of land dispute.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. How is the family?
The family is doing well. Thank you very much, Ma.
God bless you.
Amen.
I'm listening to your program and I see interest. Okay. People are talking of somebody dropping sand on the land, and if another person come and see sand, that the person should be able to know that that land is in dispute or somebody owns the land. But my own case is a different case. I am a pastor, minister of God, and I built house for 11 years now. And my neighbor that I'm staying with is a prophet who has a church in Abuja, the same Nanya. So he now go to the back and tell the Almighty that is the land. Why must he that land? Are they still that same land? And he went to the back and paid 4 million. And he's now driving to collect the house. And I'm staying with my children in that particular house. A particular neighbor, I cook food and give to him. We eat together. Now he dragged me to court, want to collect my house. And he went to the court and told me that I am a tenant. But he was there when I built the house. So how do you handle this kind of a case? And he said he's a pastor. We are neighbors eating together. And I like that of the land for 11 days now. And a pastor is coming to claim the house. So he took me to court. Next time I was in the court in Abuja there. He said that I am not a tenant. I want to collect the house by force, doing all manner of things in order to collect the house. He wants to take me and my children out of the house. And he said he's a pastor. So how do you handle this kind of a case?
Okay, madam.
I gave them money there, yes. So how do you handle it?
Madam Precious,
I want Nigerians to do matter. I want Nigerians to help me and fight this battle.
Mr. Precious, please, Mrs. Precious, please, the expert is here and they will definitely do justice to your question. In situations like this, what do we do, sir?
So the challenge is we don't have the full picture. You understand?
She don't grab it?
Okay, we just heard from Madam Precious. Even our own story is not really full. What I heard is that somebody dashed them the land 11 years ago. It was a dash. Were there documents to that effect that clearly says that somebody that owned that land dashed you? They call it deed of gifts.
Deed of gifts?
Yes. Was there something like that done and signed in the favor of Madam Precious? If that is there, then did she perfect that document? You understand? The building that she erected, does she have a plan approved? You understand? By God.
All these things will carry her name.
That carries her name, you know, and all of those things. If all of those things are in place, it will be difficult for somebody to come 11 years after.
They are neighbors,
to come 11 years after and be claiming the land. Then she said the person paid 4 million. To who collected 4 million from the person? Is it the same Alhaji that dashed them the land? You know, so that's why I said we don't have all the full picture.
Well,
We've not heard from the neighbor now, his own story. Then even Madam Precious' story is not really
lopsided.
No, it's not even like it's lopsided. It's not explicit. She didn't have the time to probably for us to question her, for her to throw more light on certain gray areas. So I would suggest that she says she's gone to court. I would suggest that she approach a lawyer. Okay, since the matter is in court, she approach a lawyer and sit down with the lawyer. I'm sure the lawyer will take her through on what to do and how to defend herself.
Okay, Madam Precious, most definitely with a lawyer you cannot go wrong. So on top of that, we'll go on this shaking break. We will be right back. Go nowhere.
Hey, subscribe! I mean, that you've watched up to this point means that you've been enjoying this episode. Encourage us to continue to put out valuable content like this by pressing the subscribe button. Just subscribe. It is absolutely free. A lot of people tell me, your channel is loaded, valuable content there and all of that. Encourage us by subscribing. It will help us do more. Subscribe right away.
Yes, you're welcome back, and a property matter will still do. And everybody try to call our attention to those things where we say we suppose shine our eye on top when we won't buy property. Where we say if we are aware of those things, we likely might not fall into land dispute. So you don't give us one or two. You don't let us realize if we see building materials, if we see broken fence, or maybe part of the house self they demolish. This one assigns say make we jackpot. So what are other things that can serve as pointers for us not to run into this land dispute?
Now, if the person that wants to sell property to you is not able to put you in possession of the land, you understand? You are saying, okay, let's go to the site. He's dodging you. Okay, when will you hand over the site to me? It's not really, you understand? You know, exactly. He can't say that, oh yeah, go ahead and do your fence. Don't worry, or something. He's not able to put you in possession of the land. There is a problem.
When he's saying just would let me reach out to
sorry, there is something I'm trying to
perfect.
Let me just talk to somebody. Okay, I want to see one guy. He has said that before I put somebody there, I should talk to him. There's no problem. It's just that I just need to let him know.
No problem.
How can you let him? How do you have to need to let somebody else know before you
put somebody
in charge of your land, somebody you are trying to sell it to, you know? So when there is some delay or drag,
or come back today, come back tomorrow,
possession, or you know, difficulty in giving possession to you for what you've bought or what you are planning to buy, or what you've started to buy, watch. There is probably a problem. You can retrace your steps if you've not gone so deep into it, you know. So that's another one. Then there is the issue of title.
Okay.
You know, if paper documentation title is funny in the sense that it's not clear,
it's always photocopy.
Is not even just that photocopy. It's not clear, as in it's not explicit.
How do you mean, sir?
It's not. So let's say, for example, okay, let's say it's photocopy like you said, and it's not clear. You can't see what is written there.
What's the photocopy itself?
You can't see what is written there, and nobody has the original. You know, or what they are calling the title is not really the title. Maybe the land is the coordinate on the land, for example, on the survey, does not take you to that land, takes you to somewhere else. You understand? That means what you are buying may be somewhere else, not the one they are showing you.
This one is just ordinary paper that they have on their table.
You know, exactly. So when the document is funny one way or the other, it's not clear, it's correct, containing wrong information, you know, the information there are not right, you know, and it's not something you can confirm. You can't go to the land registry, for example, and say, please, is this the same document you have as against this land in your records? And they say, no, it's not. Then there's a problem. You understand? So if the documentation is funny in any way.
If I want to buy a land, sir, do I have the right to say, let me have that documentation to go and do confirmation in government office?
100%.
And they won't take offense or anything.
So in real estate, like I always say, it's caveat emptor. Buyers beware. you have the right as a person that will be parting with money to do enough due diligence to convince you before you part with your money. So if you need, obviously they won't give you the original.
No, I don't need the original.
So they will give you at least very clear copies. Okay, you can use that to go. And if they say they are not giving you clear copies, some people will say, "Don't worry, we'll give you the number of the file and all of that."
Still the same thing.
If you get, it's not exactly the same thing. Yeah. If you get the number and all, maybe you want to ask from the registry if they also authorize it to give you CTC, so that you can have certified true copy of what is there, so that you can then have that to then compare with their own original by the time you are going to be parting with money. If they are not giving you photocopy, you understand, because there could be some people have had problems in time past of, corrupted documents, in one way or the other. So you want to be careful, but you have the right to ask for copies of. You can walk away if they are not giving you, or alternatively, if they give you the details, you can go and get the CTC and then compare later. Depends on what you want, but you have the right to do due diligence on what you are buying.
Can all this
searching the title inclusive? Can
all these tools still obtain if it's all these real estate? They buy in large quantities. Can I still do all this? Checking for CTC and everything.
Why not? If they say they have, you are talking about maybe estate.
Estate, yes.
And so if an estate says that we have survey on this land, we have, because there are different documentations, and documentation perfection are in stages. You understand? So we have survey on this land, we have layout approval, we have maybe CFO. Whatever they say they have, you can ask for a copy of it and go and find out. If it is survey, you go to the Surveyor General's office. First, for survey, you first of all confirm that the coordinator on that survey is talking about the same place, the same area that you are negotiating that they took you to.
Make a penny go be Jedodo.
You understand? Or Monkey Village.
Or for
Abuja. Or where is that place in Oyo?
That's
Opapa.
That's now I'm fine with that.
Make a penny from the Opapa. Maybe chief wants to sell Opapa. So if you survey, go to the Surveyor General's office, go to the land first, confirm that the coordinates are correct, and then go to the Surveyor General's office to verify that survey, that is registered and all of that. If it is layout approval, go to physical planning.
Please, what do you mean by layout approval, sir?
So any property that is up to 1 hectare, 1 hectare is like 2.5 acres, requires a layout approval, meaning that you have to get approval as to how the plot will be arranged and the kind of plot types that will be there.
Okay.
You understand? So that's what is called layout approval. So if they say they have layout approval because of, you're talking about estates, large size, you can check that from physical planning. Building approval, you can check that from physical planning. You understand? If they say we have CFO or perfected deed of assignment or something like that, any registrable title, you can check that from the land registry.
Sorry, sir, let's take Monsuru from Anambra. Monsuru, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Fine, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, Monsuru.
Sir, please, I want to ask a question about supporting somebody wants to buy a land, and the land is not having a proper document. Can somebody go to court to go and do all necessary documents about it?
I'm not sure I heard you. Somebody wants to buy land, and the land is not having
the proper document and other things.
It's not court you go to. You go to the appropriate land.
But is he in his own position to do it, or in the position of those that want to sell the land?
No. It depends. So if they are selling the land to you like that, as it is, the first thing you want to be concerned about, maybe their family land, is it? The family owns a land. They may not have any problem. So the first thing you want to confirm really about that land is what they call land information certificate. You want to know the status of that land, whether it is free. You understand? If it is free, it's not encumbered in any way. It doesn't have any challenge with government or anything. So you go, take the coordinates and search with do what they call chatting with the Surveyor General's office of that state. When they will tell you the status of that land, that is free, for example. When it is free, or they say it is maybe redeemable or ratifiable or can be accommodated, they use different languages to tell you whether it's something that you can go with or not, or it's not, is a no-go area. You understand? So if it is free, you can then proceed to buy the land, and then you now do the documents necessary, survey on it, and then you process your title.
As CFO, I have it right.
Yes, if once it is.
Yeah, so before we go, there's a question I'd like to ask, because we treated this last year and obviously it's manifesting now. Change of street naming. Some streets in Ajao, they change their name and everything. But the question I want to ask is, if they change the name of a particular street, is there a number of years that it will take to expire, or what brings about the expiration?
I'm not aware that you have a number of years that it needs to expire. But what I'm aware of is that I think yearly you have to be paying certain money.
Dues.
Yes. So maybe if the person has now not paid for some time,
for a reasonable number of years,
paid for some time, they may just feel that the local government may feel that they are not interested in it, and maybe that may be grounds for
renaming,
accepting another person that applies for.
But not that maybe now for 100 years or now for 50 years.
I'm not aware of that, so I stand to be corrected.
Okay, so we would actually need clarification from you on that. So are there other things we should look out for that can serve as a pointer to land disputes?
Well, there are so many. But we've talked about the few ones.
Materials on site, means of payment, title documentation, and we've also talked about
somebody paying cash, saying you should pay cash, pay in a hurry, pay now. Somebody is coming to
delay before they allocate the land to you.
Yes, they are dragging in giving you possession, or no document at all. No document, no history. The person just say, "Na me own the land." I say, "Na me get her." You no believe me. Okay. There are funny people. Just say, "Na me get her." Is there anything that I can tell you that you?
Àbẹ́ni kankan wà tó lóun tó mọ tán lẹ̀ ìjà wa lọ.
Ẹ má wọrí, kò sẹ́nibọ̀dì tó lè
gbé ní
àwa la ní. Ẹ̀yin lẹ ní kí lẹ fi ní.
Aláwa ní like Ọ̀pàpà now. I no get any document. Àwa la ní. Even the name for using our own, but I no get document.
At the same time.
Yeah, you see, on top of that, I want to say very big thank you. We believe we've learned something today. Engineer Debo, thank you so very much for coming.
You're welcome.
To all our viewers, will say bye.
Thank you. See you next week.
How did you enjoy the video? Great, right? Valuable content are here. No doubt about that. So please do us a favor. Encourage us by subscribing right away. Click on the subscription button now. And I want you to do 3 other things for me. Subscribe, like, click on the notification button, and lastly, share. If you enjoy real estate sales, real estate entrepreneurship, financial freedom, how to own your first or next house, okay? Those 4 things are what I concentrate on this channel. Thank you very much. I remain yours sincerely, Debo Adejano, in business of helping you do what? Sack your landlord. Subscribe.